All right, so I'm back, and today I figured we'd do another rant of the week because it's that time. And I thought, this would be a good topic, more like a discussion topic for everybody, and I just kind of ramble on about it for a little bit because that's what I do. But at what point do you guys stop supporting a company? Like, fully supporting a company, I should say. Or just in general. Like, just completely, I'm done. For me, I've got some examples for you guys, just to kind of express what I'm talking about. But it's like, when you find like a third-party company and they just hit that nail right on the head for aesthetics and design or whatever, exactly what you're looking for in transformation, everything's just right. But then something happens and you're like, the chink in their armor kind of deal. At what point do you guys are like, I'm out. I might pick up a few things here and there, but I'm not going to buy everything. So, there's a lot of people out there. Myself has been in this category in the past as well. Not so much at the moment. Where, part of this topic has come up from last week's second rant of the week or second time ranting about the trans art. Optimal Optimus. And so it's like when I find a new third-party company and they put out something that's like, all right, that's amazing. That is perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. I will just about automatically buy whatever they put out next, just to keep supporting them, because I want them to succeed. Because the more they succeed, the more stuff they're going to put out, and the more stuff they put out, the more happy I will be in the end. So it's like, example for you, Unique Toys, when they were first coming out, they did the Predacons, which, while the plastic quality was, it's still, for me, it's my personal favorite of those three. It's nowhere near as good or as impressive as the MMC Predaking, but their take on it was, for what it was right where it needed to be, I felt. Especially since they followed what would become the Hasbro's Combiner Wars trend. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about it this whole time, but it became what the Combiner Wars trend was, which was the 4 Deluxes and 1 Voyager would become the Combiner. They followed that formula, but they also were the first to do that whole, like, okay, we're going to just parts form a whole bunch of stuff. Like the feet, the hands, the wings, the head, the waist piece, the back piece. I mean, all of the stuff came together and formed the Predaking. Something that Toy World and Zeta has been doing now, and everyone's praising them, but they don't give shit about. Yeah. Anyway, I've talked about that many times. A double standard there. But anyway, they put that out. I loved it. I know it wasn't as good as it should have been, but I wanted to see more from this company, so I was all in. Then they did the Sharkticons. I'm all in. Then they did the Galvatron. I'm all in. Blaster, I missed out on the original release of it. I ended up buying it secondhand. But I did get the Blaster, and then they did their scale jump where they started doing their Abominus, but they did it more in line with the MMC, and that was, for me, their first chink in the armor, and that's where I kind of started losing interest. And then they also kind of split off, and DX9 was born. And it was like, okay, so DX9's doing more of the MP scale stuff, but then they do like a Wreck-Gar in Chug scale, and it's just like, wait, what? So I just kind of like lost interest in them, because they were kind of going back and forth, and I just didn't know what to follow, and it just kind of lost me there. And so yeah, that was pretty much the end of that for me, for them. So yeah, that's my history with Unique Toys there. Fans Toys, there's one. Like I didn't jump on board right away, and so I missed the Quake Wave first release. I eventually did get him, and I started buying some of their stuff. The thing was I was like in between Chug and MP collecting at the time, and but when I would buy their stuff, it was like, oh man, this is pretty good. Although they did have QC issues galore. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was a lot of QC issues with early Fans Toy stuff. And they were overall pretty good, but then their tactics were what made me stop buying their stuff. Ultimately, now I'm collecting them again. I still don't like them, really, as a company, for their tactics. The way they, you're doing a Megatron, we're going to do a Megatron. You're doing a Blitzwing, we're doing a Blitzwing. It might not be out for another 10 years, but we're doing a Blitzwing, so everybody don't buy their stuff. Wait to buy our stuff. It was pretty crappy tactics, I thought, and I think it definitely hurt some of the other third-party companies, DX9 being one of them, and I think KFC as well, because I think if KFC hadn't felt pressured on their Blitzwing, they may have tweaked it a little bit before they released it, because it definitely, from what I understand, I never actually played with it, it definitely seemed like it was unfinished. So, but ultimately, it's like I do collect Fans Toys. I just don't like their tactics. So I'm not going to buy everything from them, because it's like, I want them to continue. I know other people will buy the stuff, so it won't hurt for me not to buy it. DX9, once they started doing Legends and and Unique Toys also, I think they both did the movie figures, and I was just like, okay, I can't buy everything from you guys anymore. I wanted to, but now I can't, because you're doing stuff I'm not interested in collecting. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there with Takara, once they started doing the MP stuff, or the Beast Wars stuff. I'm all in on their Beast Wars line, but they've been radio silent since Tigertron, I think that was the last one. Pretty sure. So it's like, are we going to get more MP Beast Wars? I hope so, but I'm not holding my breath at this point. Just kind of radio silence on that. It's like they did the Chug stuff. And Takara really had, like Hasbro, they really have this like short-term memory. Like, what can we do in 3 years? Because if we can't finish everything in 3 years, we're just going to move on to something else. And it's just like, thanks, guys. So it's like, I could understand a lot, but I can understand a lot of people are like, I'm gonna not buy Masterpiece, like every Masterpiece anymore, because I'm not a huge fan of the Beast Wars stuff. Same could be said, like, when I was buying Masterpiece when they were coming out with the cars and stuff like that, and I was pretty happy with them, and then they did, what was it, Victory Saber? Star Saber. They did him, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm not buying him. And I didn't, I reviewed him. I think we did a giveaway, or somebody sent it to me. I can't remember how I got it, but I did get to review it, but it was ultimately, I wasn't going to buy it and collect it, because it was just not my thing. I probably actually would buy it if they reissued it, though, to be honest with you, because it was a pretty good figure. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's see what other companies out there. MMC, there's a good one. They did their Night Morpher stuff, and I picked up a few of their stuff, but not all of them. I was interested in watching it unfold. I know there was a number of things that they had announced. I was really excited for, like their bugs. God, I don't want to create the Insectitrade. I remember that MMC. I remember it. If you're out there, you can send me the test shots if you still have them somewhere. I would be happy to look at it. But I was really, really excited about them. But then they kind of jumped shipped on that and started doing the reformatted line. And I think it started with Hexatron, And I remember back in the day, it's like $150 for one figure. What the hell? Then I got it. I was like, oh, I got you. I see where this is. And it's like, but then their reformatted line, you know, they did the Predaking. I was interested to see if they did more combiners, which they didn't. And then they kind of more evolved that reformatted line into like their IDW stuff. And I've picked up a number of them to look at here and there, and I've enjoyed them. I thought they were really good figures. But being as one of the people that I have not read IDW, it's just not my bag. You know, a lot of people are like, well, why not? You know, you need to give this a try. It's like, well, do you guys give Beast Wars a try or Beast Machines a try? Maybe you should go back and give those guys a try. You know, and I'm not saying that it's a bad comic or anything like that. I'm sure it's amazing. I've read some of the comics, you know, here and there, because when Hasbro was putting them out with the figures, so I got some of those, and those were pretty good. The ones I picked up, I mean, most of them it's telling a part of a story, and you're like, huh, I wonder what happens with that. And I've seen some, you know, web panels or something like that, or, you know, panels on the web or Facebook or whatever, and it looks good, but it's just not my thing. And so it's like once they started focusing on that, it was like, you know, I bought the first two of their DJD because I was excited for them, and I just ended up just kind of like losing interest, partly because it took so long, and also it's like they're also from Canon. I don't know. I still have their Tarn sitting on my shelf too, so I mean it's not a bad thing. So it's like, anyway. But yeah, it's like as they started doing more of that, I started like kind of losing the interest in buying every piece that they put out. And then the same could be kind of said for Make Toys and Fans Project, where, as I was saying in the Transart video, where they start kind of putting their eggs in a bunch of different baskets, and you sit there and you're just like, can you just focus and finish one collection? And that just made me lose interest in finishing like the Dinobots or finishing the Make Toys Headmasters, because it's like, well, because you're, you know, doing this, and this, I now don't know what to do about the rest of my collection. You know, it's like, I don't know if you're ever going to finish the Headmasters. You know, Toy World did the same thing with their Headmasters, where it's like they're moving along and then they just kind of lost interest. And it's just like, what happened? So yeah, but anyway, at what point do you guys lose interest and stop supporting your company? Or have you ever? You know, is there a company out there that you're just like, I will buy everything Fans Project does? And it's like, cool, you know, that's awesome of you to do that. You know, do you do that, or have you never even considered that? You know, just like, oh, I just cherry pick whatever I want, which is also fine. You know, it's fine however you want to collect. You know, I'm not bashing or anything like that anybody that collects a certain way. I'm just saying, you know, do you guys do that? And if so, at what point do you go, you know, I'm going to skip this product. I can't do this. I don't want X. You know, I don't want, you know, reformatted version of Obsidian, for example. You know, it's like, you know, at what point you're just like, yeah, I'm out. So yeah, that was just my random thought I came up with. So yeah.